hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
All right, joining us now for more, author of the New York Times #1 best-selling book, Confronting Evil, and host of No Spin News, Bill O'Reilly, back with us. Bill, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Rob. We appreciate it. And that's the 20th #1 on the New York Times list, world record. So we're very pleased. Confronting Evil so quick out of the gate.
Congratulations. Who's #2 on that list, by the way?
Bob Woodward. He's got 14 #1s. So I don't think my record's ever going to be broken because people don't read as much as they used to now. But it's a good book, and we're happy that people discover it. And we'll get into this with Kimmel, because it's very hard for non-liberal authors or singers or actors or anybody with a product to get on Jimmy Kimmel or any of the network program. Talk about lack of freedom of speech. That's the real story, not Kimmel.
Well, let me just ask you. So you're out with this new book. I've read it. At one point, Bill, you had the biggest show on cable. Let me just ask you, have you been invited to appear on GMA, The Today Show, CNN, MS Now, CBS, or ABC? I doubt it. Shouldn't Brandon Carr look into that?
Sure. I mean, that's the real censorship. That for the past 10 years, ever since Trump's gotten in the political arena, 5 major television outlets refuse to book any non-liberal guests. I mean, you got Mark Levin. He's a big bestseller. You got a lot of talent on Newsmax. You got a lot of talent on Fox News that can have an intelligent conversation. You'll never get on them. Now, I've been invited to talk to Major Garrett, a colleague of mine at Fox on CBS. That was new. Skydance took it over. I think they're trying to change the censorship thing here.
Right.
So I did that. And then there's a program at CNN, late night program, that offered me a slot, 5 minutes or so, but it's not going to do us any good. But I confronted Anderson Cooper himself, because I know him. I said, hey, what's the problem? You know you're going to get much better ratings if you put me on. It's a good book. So, but, you know, they just won't, because
Any
management...
conversations with Brandon Carr? And I'll just tell you, Bill, Brandon Carr he's been on this show several times. We've reached out to him daily for the last week. He always responds. He hasn't gotten back to us. So he was everywhere when this happened, and then he went quiet.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but Carr is limited to only the 3 networks. And they have to operate under the federal government's mandate of public interest. So I ask you, Rob, you're a smart guy. Is the public interest being served by ABC, NBC, and CBS when they totally exclude every point of view that's not liberal?
Yeah, and they've been doing this for decades.
Serving the public interest?
No, you know my answer. Communications Act 1934, in exchange for using the public airwaves, public broadcast licenses. To your point, ABC, CBS, NBC have an obligation to serve the public good. We played the soundbite, and I'll let everyone decide at home if they think Jimmy Kimmel is serving the public good. Let me ask you, again, he's not going to be on in 71 markets that he was on in last Monday. How does he approach this tonight? He's got to be careful, because he wants to be back on Sinclair and Nexstar. So how does he approach this tonight at 11:30?
I don't know. I know Kimmel, and I was surprised he made that mistake, and it was a mistake. I was also surprised the producers and writers of his program didn't say, hey, Jim, you know, making a statement that MAGA may be responsible for the assassination of Charlie Kirk, that's about as irresponsible as you get. You're going to get in trouble. I don't know how defiant Jimmy's going to be. I offered, through Adam Carolla, one of his best friends, about a year ago, to talk to Kimmel off the record, because I saw where he was going, into this hate Trump swamp where you can't get out of that. Now, I don't expect him to apologize. I'm not a guy that wants him banished. I don't really care whether he's on ABC or not. I know the Turning Point doesn't want him back. I know that. They've issued that, made that clear. But to me, I don't like this banishment stuff. I don't like this cancel culture stuff.
Well, do you think, Bill, it's about the first? Let me just play a soundbite. This is Rand Paul. So many on the left say this is about free speech, and then Rand Paul on the right said this is also a free speech issue. Take a look.
I mean, this is television, for goodness sakes. You have to sell sponsorships. You have to sell commercials. And if you're losing money, you can be fired. But the government's got no business in it, and the FCC was wrong to weigh in, and I'll fight any attempt by the government to get involved with speech. I will fight.
Yeah, I don't get that. I think Jimmy's bad for business. When did Donald Trump call Disney ABC? He didn't do that.
Well, look, of course he didn't do it. And again, it's just 3 networks. Rand Paul is wrong because he's missing the real attack on freedom of speech. I guess these guys just live in a world of their own. That, you know, Kimmel was punished by the affiliated stations who were getting thousands of complaints about him. And the affiliated stations, you know, in Idaho and Utah and Mississippi, they got to deal with the public. They got to deal with these people. And they're telling to Disney, look, can't you tamp the hate down? It's every single night.
Bill, congratulations on the success of the book. It is Confronting Evil. Bill O'Reilly, look forward to having you back. Thank you.
Thanks for reading the book, Rob. Appreciate it.